Have you ever woken up in the morning, looked in the mirror, and asked yourself, am I really living up to my full potential? I believe all of us have felt stuck in that loop at some point. Work, home, scrolling endlessly, sleep, and repeat. Maybe you've whispered to yourself, I could do more, but where do I start? The truth is, many people live on autopilot, just doing enough to get by. But those who rise, who make a difference, choose a different path, the path of personal development, growing a little every single day. And that journey isn't something far away or impossible. It starts with small actions, reading a few pages, writing down 3 goals, daring to take one step outside your comfort zone. That is self-improvement, small changes that add up to big transformation. I've studied motivation and human growth for more than 2 decades, and one thing I've learned is this: the difference isn't luck. It is the choices you make every single day, choosing to learn or to skip, choosing to step forward or to delay. In this video, I'll share with you 9 powerful perspectives, keys that, 1, to just change your habits, but can transform who you are. And I don't want you to hear this as a lecture. Think of it as a heartfelt conversation between 2 friends, searching for a deeper and more meaningful way to live. Who knows, maybe just one idea from this video could be the seed that starts a brand new chapter in your journey of growth. Are you ready? First, let's talk about environment, the silent force shaping your mindset. Have you noticed how you start to resemble the people you spend time with? Not just in the way you talk, but in your beliefs, your habits, even your perspective on life. A friend once confessed to me he read a lot of personal development books, attended seminars, filled notebooks with ideas, yet after a few months he felt stuck. When I dug deeper, I found that every night he hung out with friends who only complained and criticized. He told me, I try to move forward, but I feel pulled back. Psychology calls this social influence. We absorb the energy, the mindset of those around us more than we realize. If you're surrounded by people who always think it's impossible, sooner or later you'll believe the same. But if you place yourself in a positive environment, encouraging friends, good books, inspiring podcasts, you'll change faster than you ever thought possible. Personal development isn't just about your own effort, it's also about who you allow into your world. So the real question is, are the people I spend time with helping me grow or holding me back? Second, remember that knowledge only has power when you apply it. Many people read dozens of self-help books, underline heavily, and then leave them on the shelf. I used to be like that too. Reading made me feel smarter, but life didn't really change. The truth is, knowledge is power is only half true. Real power comes when you turn knowledge into action. I remember the first day I tried a morning routine. I knew waking up early was good. Exercise brought clarity. Reading nurtured the mind. But I only knew, I didn't do. Until one day, I set the alarm, refused to hit snooze, and went jogging for 10 minutes. The result? I felt completely different. More energy, sharper focus, greater confidence. Just one small action, repeated daily, changed my entire rhythm of life. In self-improvement, small actions are worth more than 1,000 theories. Our brain learns best through real experience. Every time you act, you build new neural connections and form new habits. So instead of asking, what did I learn? Ask, what have I applied in the last 24 hours? Because only when you take steps forward does personal development truly begin. And next, remember this: if you want to change your life, you must change yourself first. Many people wait for circumstances to change, a better job, smoother relationships, opportunities knocking on the door. But life doesn't change just because you wish it to. It changes when you change. I once knew a young woman who always complained, "My job is boring, my boss doesn't care, my colleagues are negative." When I asked, "Have you tried doing anything differently?" she stayed silent. Months later, she chose to learn new skills, took on freelance projects. The result? She became more confident, found a better job, and most importantly, realized the key wasn't in her circumstances, but in herself. This is the core principle of self-improvement. The world won. To treat you differently unless you treat yourself differently first. When you change your mindset, habits, and discipline, you become a magnet for the right opportunities. Not because the world suddenly became easier, but because you grew strong enough to see and seize them. So instead of asking, "When will my life change?" ask, "What can I change about myself today?" That's the real way to open a new chapter of your life. Fourth, practice asking questions and nurture critical thinking. Have you noticed that when we were kids, we always asked, "Why?" But as we grow older, we stop asking? Society often wants us to accept ready-made answers, but those who truly break through are the ones who never stop questioning. A friend of mine in the startup world once told me, when his team came up with an idea, everyone agreed saying, "This will definitely succeed." But he was the only one who asked, "What could make this fail?" That one question helped them spot the flaws, adjust their strategy, and later, that startup became one of the most successful brands. In science, there is a concept called growth mindset. People with a growth mindset don't see obstacles as walls blocking their way. They see them as questions waiting to be solved. They never stop learning, never stop questioning the obvious, always seeking something new. And this is the essence of personal development. Daring to see from multiple angles, questioning routines, even questioning yourself. So next time you hear advice, try asking, "Why?" Or, "What if I did the opposite?" That single question could open a brand new door for you. Fifth, don't be afraid of failure, because inside it always hides a lesson. Have you ever failed an interview, flunked an exam, or been rejected in love and thought it was the end? I've been there too. But looking back, I realized those failures taught me more than success ever did. A famous athlete once said, "I've failed more times than you ever tried." It sounds harsh, but it's true. Successful people are not those who never fail, but those who learn from every fall. They see failure as feedback, a message saying, "This way doesn't work, try another." In the journey of self-improvement, failure is like a strict teacher. It reveals the weaknesses we need to fix, trains us in patience, and forces us to be more creative. If life was only rosy, we would never truly grow. I remember one of my students who failed the university entrance exam 3 times. At that time, he thought his life was over. But instead of giving up, he started learning English, volunteering, building skills. A few years later, he became a manager at an international company, something he might never have achieved if he had passed on the first try. Failure, if you listen, always carries a hidden reward. Try changing the questions you ask when facing difficulties. Don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" That shift turns failure into the foundation of growth. And sixth, remember, discipline matters more than motivation. Motivation is the fire that gets you started, but discipline is the fuel that keeps you going for the long run. How many times have you felt fired up after a seminar, determined to change your life, only to fall back to old routines a few days later? I've been there too. Motivation comes and goes with emotions. Today you're excited, tomorrow you're tired, and then you procrastinate. But discipline is different. It doesn't ask if you feel like it or not. It forces you to get up, do what needs to be done, even when you don't want to. In sports, top athletes don't only train when they're motivated. They train in the rain, when their bodies ache, when no one is cheering. That repeated habit is what makes them champions. In life, it's the same. Whether you want to build a career, improve health, or sharpen your mind, you need discipline. In personal development, discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. It turns dreams into actions and actions into results. One day you might skip reading. 2 days you might delay exercise. But when discipline becomes instinct, you no longer struggle with feelings. You just do. Remember, self-improvement is not a sprint. It's a long journey where discipline is your most loyal companion. And if you can build discipline, you'll never have to depend on motivation again. 7th, learn to prioritize and be disciplined with your time. There's one thing everyone has, rich or poor, 24 hours a day. What separates ordinary people from successful ones is how they use that time. I once coached a young entrepreneur who complained, "I'm too busy to learn new skills." When I asked for details, he admitted spending at least 3 hours a day scrolling social media and watching entertainment. The point is clear. It wasn't lack of time. It was lack of the right priorities. In personal development, choosing the right priority is like choosing the right route on a map. You can run fast, but if it's the wrong direction, you only get farther from the goal. When you put discipline first, say 30 minutes daily for reading, skill building, or training, you send yourself a powerful message. Growth matters to me. Imagine cutting just half your TV or scrolling time for 30 days and investing it in self-improvement. How different would life feel? You don't need more time. You need smarter time management. 8th, build long-term perseverance. Success doesn't come from a few hyped-up days. It comes from hundreds of patient ones. A common mistake is craving quick results. 1 week at the gym and expecting muscles, 1 month of language study and expecting fluency, a few months of a startup and expecting millions. Reality is very different. A famous Stanford study shows people who can delay gratification, patiently waiting for rewards, tend to achieve more in academics, careers, and finances. Perseverance is the invisible key that keeps you going when others quit. I remember a student who worked night shifts to pay tuition. For 3 years, he had almost no weekends off. While friends partied, he worked and studied. That perseverance made him a top graduate and later a CEO at a tech company. In the journey of self-improvement, there will be days you feel tired and discouraged. Remember, big results come from small efforts repeated over a long time. Success isn't about speed, it's about endurance. Finally, nurture a lifelong learning mindset. Many think learning ends after graduation. In reality, it truly begins when you enter life. The world changes daily. New tech, new ideas, new opportunities. If you don't keep learning, you'll be left behind. Look at world-class leaders, from entrepreneurs to artists. Their common trait isn't just talent, it's an endless hunger to learn. They read, listen to podcasts, seek mentors, and observe life. Every experience is a classroom. One secret of personal development is keeping the posture of a student for life. When you stay open to new knowledge, you don't fear failure. It's just another lesson. You don't fear change. It's a chance to learn something new. So instead of asking, "When will I know enough?" ask, "What can I learn today?" Each day you learn a little. You expand your own borders. Keep learning, and you'll keep moving toward your best self. My friend, we've just walked through 9 important perspectives, small pieces that together have the power to change a life. And I want you to remember one thing. Success doesn't come from one big moment, but from the small choices you make today, right now. Your life won't change if you just listen and let everything pass. It changes when you act. Imagine this. Tonight you turn off your phone 30 minutes early, pick up a book, and read a few pages. Tomorrow, your mind is already clearer. Tomorrow morning, instead of rushing to check your phone, you spend 5 minutes writing your top 3 tasks, you have built the foundation for a more focused day. Repeat these small acts, and a year from now, you won't be the same person anymore. That's the essence of self-improvement, not changing everything at once, but improving bit by bit, day by day. When you stay patient with the process, you'll see surprising results. Looking back, you'll realize you rewrote the story of your own life. Right now, you may be thinking, am I really capable? The answer is yes. No one is born perfect. The leaders, artists, entrepreneurs you admire, they too felt lost, failed, were doubted. The difference is they didn't stop. They chose to keep going, to keep learning, to stay disciplined. They chose personal development as a lifestyle, not a temporary project. I want you to ask yourself, if I'm truly serious about change, where am I willing to start today? Maybe it's 20 minutes of reading. Maybe it's rewriting your goals, or simply sitting down, breathing, and telling yourself, I can be better. You don't need to know how long the journey will be. You just need courage for the first step. Remember, the world will always have people who doubt you, who say you can't. But you don't need to prove anything instantly. The only way to answer doubt is to let your results speak. The change within you will be the loudest evidence. So treat this video as a reminder, an invitation. Don't wait for the perfect time, because it will never come. The only time you truly have is now. If you truly value yourself, invest in yourself, because everything you dream of, career, love, health, happiness, it all begins with your willingness to grow, to learn, to keep moving forward. Remember, the greatest journey you can take is the journey to become your best self. And that journey is called self-improvement. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to UpMind Journey for more lessons on self-improvement and personal development. Free gift links and info about books and courses are in the description below.